ladies and gentlemen, Kobe Bryant.
Going on, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There it is.
So, man, first of all, hey, welcome.
Thank you.
You know, great to have you here. Fantastic athlete. I've had the privilege of being around Kobe for many years, and I have to say, beyond the obvious, and that is he is one of the world's greatest athletes, obviously one of the top players in the game, really ever. I will say that he is a very demanding athlete when it comes to product. Not only as an athlete, I mean, you expect a lot of yourself as a player. You train harder than anybody I know, which is one of those things most people don't know. People at this level, it's just not a natural gift. There's a lot of hard training that goes into the work, into being such a great player. So it's a privilege to have athletes like Kobe really challenge us, because I think the process of Nike helping the athletes realize their potential really helps Nike realize our own potential as a company as well. So, thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we were just chatting on the phone the other day. First of all, I want to say that I know a lot of you have questions for Kobe, and I'm going to allow you to, answer or ask the questions, I should say. Before I step off, I want to ask Kobe a couple questions. We were just chatting the other day on the phone, and you said to me, unsolicited, that one, you're really excited about competing in Beijing in the Olympics.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I think it's first of all, it's a tremendous honor to represent your country and play for the USA basketball team. I think the challenge that we face now is to try to get USA basketball back to the top. And the competition is incredible. Some remarkable basketball teams out there, remarkable basketball players. So it feels good for me to be a part of it, along with many others, and go out there and try to win the gold. So it's a tremendous honor.
Great. The other thing you brought up, and I didn't ask you this, but unsolicited, you talked about this shoe that you're holding, the Hyperdunk. So what did you say? How do you feel about the shoe?
Well, it's all about performance for me. I think the thing that's most important is several things. One is the comfort of the shoe, but two is that I don't lose seconds. Because basketball is such a reaction sport. When things happen on a dime, you have to stop and turn on a dime. And I wanted a shoe that was able to if I was going left and I had to cut back right, I didn't want to lose seconds on that turn, because every split second counts. So I wanted a shoe that fit that mold. And just sitting here and talking with some of the designers, talking with Avar, and giving them kind of that imagination, something that I wanted. It's unbelievable because they're able to actually bring it to fruition. So like if I went to them and said, I want a shoe that can make me hang in the air for 5 seconds, they might come back with a shoe that can make me hang in the air for 5 seconds. So it's truly unbelievable, and I couldn't be happier with the way the shoe turned out.
Great, good. I will say Kobe's also very demanding on how the product looks. Obviously, it has to perform at the highest levels, but Kobe has a great taste level, obviously. You see him as a player in terms of his personal style, but he really cares about how the shoes look as well. So
you can't be out there in a busted shoe. Doesn't work well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think to finish up some of the Q&A, allow you to interact with Kobe here a little bit. We've got Dean Story who's going to come out. I want to thank you all again. We'll see you a little bit later. Kobe, thanks again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a seat. Good. All right, if we could, let's bring up the lights so we can see who we're talking to. If you would, please raise your hand.
Wow, I didn't notice all the people up there. Now I'm nervous. Gee whiz.
You're nervous.
Man, give me a basketball. I feel a little bit more comfortable.
So if you would, please raise your hand if you've got a question, and I promise we'll get a microphone to you as soon as possible. Got one here in the front already.
How you doing, Kobe?
Doing all right.
Over the past decade, you've been the most consistent player in the NBA. If you don't win MVP this year, are you going to take a hit out on David Stern?
For me, it's an honor for me to be considered in the MVP race. I think, in the past, if you look in the 80s when Michael, Magic, Bird, and all those guys played, the way MVP was voted on is slightly different than it is now, and I think I take a lot of pride in being nominated for it now, because the way that it seems to be judged upon now is how well you make your teammates play, or how much better do you make your teammates. And the one criticism that everybody had of me is I don't make my teammates better. So for me to kind of be in that final race for the MVP is a tremendous honor, because that means I'm doing something right in terms of proving some of my critics wrong. So I feel like I've accomplished a great deal already.
I believe we have a gentleman over here.
I'm coming from Argentina, and I would like to know, I'm sure you dream to win the gold medal in the Olympic Games. And in that dream, which team would you like to find in the final game?
Ya tú sabes. Ya tú sabes. Argentina. ¿Cómo que no?
Argentina, and why?
Sí. Yeah, Manu's a good friend of mine. He's a great player, and I love competing against him. And, on top of the fact that they're the defending champs. You see, so everybody wants to hype the USA basketball team up in terms of us winning the gold, but the truth is they're the defending champs. So we pay all our respects to them, and we're going to have to beat them. And, I would love nothing more than have the opportunity to face them. And, they're all phenomenal players. I have a great deal of respect for all of them.
Thank you.
I'm going to jump in real quick. I've got one for you, Kobe. So Mark characterized it well. You set very high standards for yourself, your training, your performance. Is it fair to say you set the bar pretty high for Nike as well when it comes to delivering for you?
Well, absolutely. I'm very demanding, and I work extremely hard to better my game, so that I have kind of all bases covered when I'm out there playing. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about shoes, that's the most important ingredient in terms of performance. Because basketball, you're obviously on your feet. You're changing directions, you're jumping. You have to make sure that your feet are healthy. You have to make sure that, for me, it's always about reaction time. It's always about the weight of the shoe and not feeling like I'm bogged down or I'm not comfortable or the shoe's too hard. It's tough to kind of find a shoe that's extremely light, but at the same time very soft. Normally you think if the shoe is very light, if you're cutting down materials, the shoe's going to be really hard. But that's not the case.
Let's take it back over here. Gentlemen.
Hello, Kobe. I'm from Greece, and I want to ask you something. What happened to the national team, and in which level is national team of USA now after the world champions before 1 year?
In terms, would it be different? I couldn't really understand.
What are the changes of national team of USA after the world champions before 1 year?
Well, I think as the years have gone on, and you've kind of watched this day coming in terms of how much we're struggling in international competition, I think we all understand that we have to change our style a little bit. If you watch NBA basketball, a lot of it is isolation basketball. It's one-on-one basketball. It's pick and roll. But international basketball, you really have to move the ball. You have to play a different philosophy and a different style. And I think we understand that. We've adapted to that, and we've adapted pretty well. And we'll continue to do that.
Leave down here.
I am representing the media from China. So they've got 4 questions regarding the Hyperdunk. So when did you involve in the design of the Hyperdunk? When?
Oh, man, maybe a year ago, a year and a half ago.
Okay, so when did you get used to the Hyperdunk? You felt that was very comfortable.
Well, the weird thing about it is when I first picked up the shoe, I kind of tossed the shoe up in the air. I didn't think the shoe was going to come back down.
So, thank you. And we've heard a lot that Nike said we are listening to the athlete. So what did you say to Nike?
I want a shoe that's very light. I want a shoe that I don't lose seconds when I change directions. And I want a shoe to be soft. Okay. Other than that, you can do what you want. But it better not be ugly. So, other than that, it was all good.
Thank you. The last one. So how's your feeling about the comparing to Kobe 3? How about the
you know what? The shoes keep getting better and better. The weight of the Kobe 3 is about 14 ounces, and this one will be 13.1 maybe, or 13. And so the shoe continues to get better and better. It's an evolution, and we continue to evolve and try to make the next one better than the last.